This is gonna be the first time you ever see me not quarantine new fish. I got some new Africans from my man Ron over at Rons Cichlids. Thank you very much. They're gonna go straight into the 210 today, and I'm gonna explain why, of course. Stick around to the end of the video because you know I got a discount code for you. Ready? Let's go. That's dope. Thank you, Ron. So not only do you get an invoice with the exact fish that you order, including their sizes, but you also get this handy dandy little instruction paperwork right here. Gives you a little bit of information of how Ron keeps his fish at his facility and some instructions on how to properly acclimate your fish, what to do with your light, how to properly float the bags, all good information right here. So far I see very good packaging. So right on top we got a little sample of Ron's food and of course a heat pad on top. Never seen this kind of material before, but really nice. Still warm to the touch too, with even more heat pads inside. This is really nicely wrapped up. I like it. Heat pad still warm. Here is Ron's medicated food bag. We'll get into this in a second. Okay, we got some leakage here, but all bags still have water in it. Let's make sure everybody's okay. This guy's very active. That looks like a Venustus right there. Venustus. What's it say? Jumbo? Venustus Jumbo. I don't know if you guys can see there. Check him out. Float him. Next we got, this bag's kind of low. OB Peacock, extra large. See, I asked Ron for some yellow, some orange. That's exactly what I'm getting with these OB Peacocks. He's a nice big boy too. There, that was a good shot. Float him. Then we got Lawanda, baby. Placement for my old Lawandas. You can see that some of the bags are leaking a little bit. He's a nice Lawanda, check them out. See how good you can see him. Okay, this bag is leaking. We're gonna float him. Last but not least, we have, this guy's not doing too well. He's got the most leakage in this bag, as you can see. This is a fire nice OB. But you see this bag, look how crumbled it is. This one definitely had a leak. It's got the least amount of water. So I'm gonna float him a lot less than everybody else. But he's still moving, he's still active, but he definitely needs to get some oxygenated water quickly. Let's get him in. So the reason why these guys are not going into quarantine and going right into the tank may not be what you think. My fish are sick right now, and I'm gonna medicate this whole entire tank. I'm gonna do my best to show you this, guys, but my guys have some sunken belly. That was a good shot. You can see that guy's got sunken belly. Here's another one that's got a little bit of a sunken belly. Hard to see because they're not gonna stay still. There's a sunken belly right there. This guy's not doing too well. He hasn't eaten in about a week. You can even see how he's swimming, right? His swimming is a little bit kind of lackadaisical. Here's another guy with a little bit of a sunken belly. So what happens with sunken belly, guys, is that it's potentially an internal parasite. And once you got one or two guys that have signs of internal parasites, it's usually affecting the entire tank. So that's why I'm going to medicate this entire tank for internal parasites, as well as the new guys that are going into the tank. So everyone's getting meds. This is essentially going to turn into a quarantine tank for the next 10 days or so. Also, my bully friend over here is going back to the main too. He's the last survivor. Now, most of you know when you're adding new African cichlids, you really want to do it during a water change because you don't want the new guys to get bullied and get stressed out from all the old guys chasing them around. So water change is a great way to add new fish. I'm gonna start draining this tank and then we'll get into why I chose Ron's medicated food. So while the tank is doing this thing, I'm gonna hop into my handy dandy Aqua Builder app. If you don't know about this app yet, I don't know what you've been waiting for, but we're gonna jump right into my tank, 210 gallon African Cichlid tank. And I'm gonna go ahead and add my brand new fish that I just added. So we go to items, we go add more inhabitants, select species, and we're gonna go African Cichlids. And then we're gonna go enter fish type. I'm just gonna put in there peacocks. I think I got a bunch of peacocks. So we'll add some more peacocks. And then to the quantity, I got 4 more. So we'll add 4, do add, and boom. Now you'll see the new peacocks are right here added. And what this does is that it lets me just keep track of not only how many fish I have in the tank, obviously, but it also keeps a log of when these fish were added to the tank. So that way, if I ever need to go back to it in the future, I'll know exactly what day that I added them in. The app has a ton of cool features for beginners and veterans, but I can't get into all of that right now. If you want to learn more, check out the video in the top right hand corner, and keep in mind that there is a huge major update coming out in June. A brand new video on the new version will be out soon too. Link will be in the description. Now, some of you know I already have a great way of treating internal parasites. It's mixing Metroplex and Garlic Guard and Focus into your food and feeding your fish with that. That's the #1 way of treating internal parasites. I have already done that for over 10 days with these guys, and it hasn't worked yet. That means that their internal parasite is a different type of parasite, not usually treated with Metroplex, but we got other meds for that. 80%. A lot of poop in that bag, so that bag stunk. That's a beauty though. All right, it's a little discombobulated, but he'll get right in a second. He's a beauty. Next up. Another nice looking stud. Little goldish color, little pink in there, little blue in the face. He's back there behind the frontosa. There he is. Looking good already. Check him flaring out those fins. Oh, and somebody's interested in him already. Where's the other guy? That's him right there. He'll get there. Venustus. Jumbo Venustus. He is. Got some good color on him already. That's a nice looking Venustus. Blue in the face. Got that giraffe pattern already. I like it. Venustus in the building. Went straight to the back. Looking all right. There he is. Came back to the front. Trying not to get the glare for you guys. It's got really nice pattern, really nice colors. All right. Stocking up here, baby. One more to go. One more. The Lawanda throw off. I don't know what throw off means. We're about to find out. Ooh. I see some blue in the face, a different shade of blue in the body. Those fins have a little bit of yellow on them. Looking good. He went straight to the back, hiding behind the frontosa. Try not to get glare on you. Where'd he go? There he is. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. All right, let's fill this sucker back up. Okay, now comes the part that's gonna piss a whole bunch of people off. But I don't care. I'm showing you what I do and how I do it. Doesn't mean that you have to do it. This is just what I do, okay? Just before adding the water to the tank, we're gonna dechlorinate with Symptom Safe. I use Safe because I got a 210-gallon tank. If you got 100 gallons or less, go with Symptom Prime to dechlorinate your water. The chlorinator goes in first or just after, but you know, you wanna get it in the same time, around about the same time the new water is going in. 1/4 teaspoon is all you need for 300 gallons. That's all I need, one. Now that we got the Safe in the tank, it's water time. Don't forget to do your temperature check. That's it. Now the dechlorinator is a must no matter what kind of fish you keep, no matter what kind of water change you're doing. But now I'm gonna start with what I dose to the tank because I'm keeping African Cichlid. Symptom Cichlid lake salt and Malawi buffer. Why? Because the salt makes the water harder, which African Cichlids thrive in, and the buffer raises the pH, which African Cichlids thrive in. That's why I use these two during every single water change. Now check out how I do my very exact and precise scientific measurement system. Ready? That's it. 6 tablespoons, sort of Malawi buffer, 5 tablespoons of cichlid salt. Are they exact tablespoons? Absolutely not. Is there probably a little bit more than I need? Probably, who knows? But it doesn't have to be an exact science. Don't overthink it. Just follow the directions on the bottle and you're gonna be fine. Then I give it a nice little mix so the buffer mixes up nicely with the salt. Now, while the tank is filling up, I like to put in about half of this mixture into the back, behind the background, away from all the fish. I don't want the salt hitting the fish directly and cause some kind of irritation. So I put half in right now, and then I put the other half in once the tank is all the way filled. And yeah, when I say half, I'm just eyeballing it. That would have been bad. Salt and butter all over the floor. Now for the things that I wouldn't normally add to a regular scheduled water change, but I do always add to a quarantine tank when I get new fish, the quarantine couple, guys. Symptom Paragard and Symptom Metroplex. Metroplex to attack internal parasites, Paragard to attack everything external. Now, why am I using these on top of Ron's medicated food? Ron's medicated food is gonna fight internal parasites, internal diseases, internal stuff. What that means is that if your fish are already to a point where they're not eating any type of food, which I know I have at least 2 fish in here, then they're not going to eat Ron's medicated food, which is why I'm dosing these 2, external and internal, directly into the tank water so that the medication can be absorbed through their gills, through their skin, and get meds that way. And yes, you guessed it, in a tank this big, you're gonna use a lot of Metroplex, you're gonna use a lot of Paragard. So normally, you want to quarantine your fish and do the QC medication in a smaller quarantine tank, save some money from using a lot of meds, which are expensive. Again, I already know the proper dosage for my tank size. Normally though, you use 1 of these little internal scoops that it come with, 1 scoop per 10 gallons. Same thing with the Paragard. I already know how much this tank size gets. For me, it's about 100 milliliters, give or take, for a 200-gallon tank. Do I go a little bit over sometimes? Yeah, 125, all right. So right now, everybody's getting the quarantine couple medication by way of the tank water. Now, what we're gonna do is, after this tank fills up, since everybody's a little bit stressed out, they're not gonna eat right away as soon as I'm done with this. I'm gonna give them about an hour or so, let them kind of calm down and settle down, and then I'm gonna start feeding Ron's medicated food. I'm gonna show you exactly how to mix it, how to dose it. It's gonna be cool. Water level gets above halfway, I kick my filters back on. I almost forgot to grab the big old bully and get him back in there. Let's get him. We gotta wait for him to get tired. There's no way I'm catching him with that speed. And if he figures out to go underneath the rocks, the 3D background, then there's no way I could get him without a water change. All right, I'm gonna have to get the bigger net. Got him. Welcome home, big boy. Don't be a butthead or you're going back. While the tank finishes filling up behind me, let me explain why we chose Ron's medicated food. And it's simply because Ron figured out how to mix the best medications that treat the most diseases and ailments possible all into one mix. First, what are the exact ingredients? What are the medications that are in this mix? We have Metroplex, Kenaplex, Neoplex, Prozipro, Levamisole, Sulfaplex, Garlic Guard, and Epsom salt. All excellent medications that treat different types of internal parasites, tapeworms. That's why you can't just go with one medication because it might only treat one type of worm. Metroplex might treat the hexamida parasite, while Prozipro treats a different type of parasite. That's why this medication is really good. Now the question should be, what is it that all these great medications actually treat? I'm gonna read it to you right off of his website. Internal infections such as bloating, abnormal stools, loss of appetite, and weight loss. Internal parasites, cryptochiron, hexamida, tapeworms, and flatworms. All different parasites that each medication treats. Not one of those medications treats all of those parasites. Bacterial infections, fin and tail rot, hole in the head disease, gill and skin flukes, ick, external fungal infections, velvet, anchorworm, fish lice, dactylogrius, never heard of that one. Dactylogirus? Dactylogrius. Dactylogirus. I don't know how to say that. Wasting disease, viral lesions, dropsy, Popeye, septicemia, and turbularians. This stuff treats a wide variety of diseases. But remember, your fish have to still be eating. If they don't eat the food, if they don't eat the medicated food, then they're not gonna get any of these meds. Ron's medicated food also comes with very clear and thorough instructions of how to mix the food, how to store the food, how to feed the food. I'm not gonna have you read this whole thing, I'm gonna show you myself. Now that the tank is full, there's 2 last things that I'm gonna add. I'm going with Symptom Stress Guard because I know these new guys are stressed, along with everybody else that's smelling these new guys. Being netted out of the bag, being put into a brand new environment without any quarantine, they're gonna be stressed. and I know they're looking for some hiding spots. Again, I already know how much I need to dose for my tank size. Little over 100. Boom. And the last thing that I would normally add right now, because I added new fish to the tank, is Seachem Stability. Why stability? When you add new fish to a tank, you're going to increase the bioload in your tank. That means that your current level of beneficial bacteria is not going to be able to handle, to convert, to take care of the increase in bioload, the increase in ammonia. So stability helps to boost your beneficial bacteria production, elevate your bacterial level, and then they'll be able to handle the new bioload you just created. Believe you me, I'm going to the store right after this. By the way, why did I remove the bully from here and put him back into the main tank? Well, this tank is being raffled away. You don't know about the raffle. Where you been? You got about a week left. Go click that up there and enter the raffle. 10 bucks a ticket. Never know, you could win that whole 75-gallon setup. Let's go. Okay, school is in session. The first thing we got is that the medicine packet is included inside the blue bag of food, and it must be mixed with all of the food. For the 8-ounce package, use the entire contents of the red medicine packet and half a cup of hot dechlorinated water. So this is the 8-ounce packet. We're gonna use the whole thing with the red bag that's inside here. Okay. All right, we're gonna get some scissors. Let's try to open it like this. Well, you know what? Since we're gonna use the whole bag of food anyway. Oh my balls. Talk about a blooper. I'm leaving that in the video. Here's your medication packet. All right, pour the whole bag into your container. And then, if you made a mess like me, hopefully it's all on the table. And then you can just clean it up. Well, we might have a little bit more of a concentrated solution. It's okay, it's okay. All right. We got most of it. Now for the 8-ounce package, we're gonna use the entire content of the red medicine packet. So we're gonna open that up, and I'm gonna make sure I'm not spilling any of this. You don't wanna lose any of this medicine, that's for sure. So we're gonna use the whole packet right into there. We're gonna get rid of this little moisture absorbing card. All right, got rid of that. Make sure all the medicine is in there. And then we're gonna mix it with half a cup of hot water, guys. I'm not playing around with this measurement. I'm right on the half a cup line. This is hot water. But he also recommends that you add some brine shrimp or mysis shrimp to the mixture, because they're gonna really like the smell, the flavor, the taste of that shrimp, and make them want to eat this medicated food even more. Now, I don't have brine shrimp or mysis shrimp, but I just so happen to have some bloodworms. I don't normally feed my African Cichlid bloodworms, even though they love it, and it does have a lot of protein. It's not very nutritious, and sometimes bloodworms are linked to causing Malawi bloat. So I don't usually feed them this. This I usually have for my discus once in a while as a treat. But we're gonna take 1 cube of bloodworms, drop it right into the hot water, and give it a little bit of time to thaw out. Okay, bloodworms are all thawed out. Now, I was supposed to add the medication into the water and mix the water and then add it to the pellets. That's what happens when you're doing stuff on camera and you're not following the directions step by step, but it's okay. We're gonna add the hot water and the bloodworms right to the mix. And we're just gonna make sure that it gets mixed very, very well. I understand why he states to mix the medication in the water first, so you can thoroughly dilute the meds in the water, so you have a liquid solution of medication, and then add the liquid solution to the pellets. But this is gonna work out too. We just gotta make sure we mix it very well so that every piece of pellet gets some medication mix up in there. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. After you mix it up very well, you wanna put it in the fridge for at least an hour to 2 hours. Let it get cold, and then that will help the pellets absorb all of the liquid and all of the medication. Then, what you want to do is separate the food into 5 separate Ziploc bags, and each Ziploc bag should have at least 4 to 5 days worth of food in each Ziploc bag. So you take the 1 Ziploc bag with 4 to 5 days worth of food, and you put that one in your fridge, and the other 4 bags with 4 to 5 days worth of food, you go ahead and freeze those. So those can last in the freezer for up to a year according to Ron. And the bag that's in your fridge, you don't want it to last in your fridge any more than 5 days. Once it's in the fridge any more than that, I assume it's going to lose the benefits. It's not going to have the right kind of medication solution, and it's not going to be efficient. Also, the food itself, after 5 days, I can see spoiling or getting bad because it's got liquid in it. So you can't have that for longer than 5 days in the fridge. So you want to feed this food twice a day, whatever they're going to eat in about 30 seconds or less. And you're going to feed this for a total of 10 days. Ron says you can go up to 15 days if you have to, if you still see some sunken belly going on. But at least 10 days of feeding this food twice a day. Take a look at that. You can smell the garlic in here, which is very good. Because fish love garlic, the smell, the flavor, the taste. We want them to eat this medicated food. We don't want them to be like, ew, that's medicine, I don't want that. You know, like how all of our kids act. Now, Ron gives more instructions on this sheet, which is very good advice. Every 2 days, you want to siphon your gravel. When the fish end up pooping out these parasites, they may still be alive, even after they poop. And then, if another fish go ahead and eats that piece of poop and eats that parasite, it's just gonna restart the cycle all over again. All right, starting to look like mud now. Look at that. Yeah. We're gonna go ahead and drop this in the fridge for an hour, then we'll be back. 1 hour later, here's what we got. It's dry, it's hard, it's mushy. This is exactly what it's supposed to look like, guys. This food has completely absorbed all of the liquid and all of the meds. That's exactly what we want. So, the instructions say to separate 5 bags worth. So in this first bag, we're gonna put in as much food as we are going to feed in the 5 days. So I'm planning to feed about 1 tablespoon per meal. And Ron suggests that you feed twice a day. So here's 1. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons per day. So that's 1 day. So here's 5 days worth of food. This is the 1 bag that I'm going to refrigerate. So because I have a lot of fish and they eat a lot, I only got 2 bags worth of freezer bags and 1 bag that I'm gonna keep in the fridge to feed. These are going in the freezer right now. And now for the fun part. We're gonna take 1 feeding worth, about a tablespoon, and you guys keep watch and let me know who's eating and who's not eating and who's spitting it out. Here we go. Hopefully they all go after it. Check them out. Second tablespoon, because they destroyed that first one. The good news is it looks like everybody is eating some of it. That is very good news. Now while they finish gobbling that all up, I know what some of you are thinking, and I know what some of you are gonna say, especially you keyboard warriors that love to hate. Yes, this is a lot of meds, a lot of chemicals, and oh my god, I'm adding a whole bunch of stuff to the tank, I know. But listen, many of you have been trained to hate the word chemical like it's the mailman coming with more bills for you to pay. If you use tap water in your tank, which 95% of us do, there are a bunch of chemicals in there already. And if that doesn't blow your mind, this probably will. Water itself is a chemical. H2O, anyone? Anyone? Check this out from study.com, an article about chemical in science. Everything in this world is made up of elements such as oxygen, iron, gold, and every other element you can find in the periodic table. A chemical is an element or any combination of these elements. For example, oxygen in the air is a chemical and is always a combination of 2 oxygen elements, just like water is a combination of 2 hydrogen elements and an oxygen element combined together to make H2O. Water is a chemical, guys. Just to bring it home, here's some other chemicals that we use almost every day. Toothpaste, salt, vinegar, sugar, all chemicals. Stop making the word chemical be the boogeyman of the hobby. It's just a combination of elements. Anyway, back to the medication. So I'm gonna feed Ron's medicated food and dose the tank water every day for 10 days, and hopefully some of these sunken bellies start to go away. As you can see, everybody's still kind of hanging out at the bottom. Well, mostly everybody. That's one guy with a huge sunken belly up there on top. But you see everybody else at the bottom still scavenging, trying to find all those little remnants of leftover food. That's a very good sign. Now, if you're still here, I got that discount code as promised. You're gonna use code KaveMan12 for a 12% discount on anything on Ron's website, RonsCichlids.com. It'll be linked in the description below as well. If this video made you an African Cichlid fan and you want to give it a shot, check out this playlist right here, or check out my free webinar on the top 3 secrets when keeping African Cichlids right there. But before you go, give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Do not forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.